My beloved child, come close, for I feel a trembling in the spirit, a stirring like mighty wings passing over the earth. Tonight is not like other nights. This moment is not like other moments. There is an urgency in the heavens, and I, as a father to you, must speak what has been placed upon my heart with holy weight and trembling love. Something has been opened in the courts of heaven. I hear the sound of ancient doors creaking wide, as though the universe itself is holding its breath. My child, there is movement, real movement, among the angels, and at the center of it all stands Archangel Michael, the mighty warrior of the Lord, the prince assigned to defend the people of God. His armor shines like burning sapphire, and the fiery edge of his sword hums like a living flame. And Michael is speaking. And when Michael speaks, heaven listens. But this time, beloved, Michael is not simply speaking. He is declaring an emergency. I can almost feel his voice echoing through the chambers of heaven, ripple through the realms, and fall like a thunderbolt upon the earth. He is not whispering. He is commanding attention. His message is not casual. It is not optional. It is a summons. For a case, yes, a real spiritual case, has been filed in the heavenly courtroom. And this case concerns you. It concerns your destiny, your next step, your protection, your tomorrow. I see scrolls being opened. I see angelic scribes moving with urgency. I see the weight of heaven turning its attention to your name. And in the midst of this divine activity, Jesus himself steps forward. His presence is like gentle fire, powerful yet tender, holy yet familiar. And with the authority that makes demons tremble and creation itself bow, he releases a command. Tell them the secret. They must know it before tomorrow. My child, do you feel the weight of that? Do you sense the seriousness of heaven calling your name? Do you feel the love behind that urgency? Love so deep that heaven rearranges itself to reach you in time. Tonight, you are being invited into a revelation, a message whispered through angels' wings, carried by the breath of the Spirit, signed by the hand of the Savior himself. So listen closely. Let your heart be still. Let your spirit open. For what I share with you now is not ordinary. It is divine urgency, a heavenly alert, a message sealed with glory. And this is only the beginning. My beloved child, let your heart remain open as we walk deeper into this holy moment. The atmosphere I sense around you is shifting, as though unseen curtains are parting to reveal something ancient, sacred, and powerful. In this next part of the journey, I must take you into a place not often spoken about, yet real in the spirit, the courtroom of heaven. There is a realm, my child, where justice is not delayed, where truth is not hidden, and where every destiny is reviewed with divine precision. And it is into this realm that your name has been carried. Not by accident, not by coincidence, but by heavenly intent. Picture this with the eyes of your spirit. A vast hall stretching beyond distance, walls not made of stone, but woven with light. They shimmer as though creation itself is breathing within them. The floor is like glass, reflecting the radiance of a glory that does not fade. Everything feels alive, aware, responsive to the presence that governs the room. And in the center sits the throne. Not a symbol, not a metaphor. A throne so majestic, that human language shatters trying to describe it. It is carved not from material, but from majesty. It emanates authority, yet radiates love. From this throne, the Ancient of Days watches every life, every battle, every choice, every tear. My child, this is the place where the case concerning you has been filed. I see angelic scribes standing at long tables that stretch like rivers of gold. Their hands move swiftly, recording details, outcomes, accusations, victories, warnings. These are not the angels of war. These are the angels of record, the ones who handle matters of divine legality. Not one detail is missed. Not one intention is ignored. Everything is accounted for. As I look, I see the pages with your name. And I see movement. Something has been brought forth, and the angels are leaning in. But then the room grows brighter. The light grows stronger. Because Archangel Michael himself enters. He is not just a warrior. He is a commander of heavenly armies. His presence shifts the room. His wings, broad and burning with celestial flame, spread behind him like a storm of glory. When he steps forward, the very air ripples with power. And yet, despite his might, his countenance carries deep compassion for those under his charge. Today, my child, that includes you. He approaches the throne, placing before it a scroll sealed in golden fire. The moment it touches the floor, thunder whispers, and heaven pays attention. This is the case file. Not to condemn you, not to frighten you, but to alert heaven to an interference, an injustice, a delay, an attack, or an obstruction against your destiny. Something has risen against you, something that must be addressed before your tomorrow arrives. Michael is not passive about it. He has stepped in because the enemy has stepped out of line. He stands as witness, protector, advocate, and warrior. And then the courtroom shifts again. A presence enters that makes angels bow and eternity fall silent. Jesus steps forward. Do you understand, my beloved child, what that means? Your Savior is not distant. He is not passive. He is not waiting for you to figure things out alone. He has come into the courtroom personally for your sake. He stands beside you, not behind you. His eyes burn not with anger at you, but with love for you. When he speaks, his voice carries authority that shakes demonic accusations to dust. He reviews the scroll Michael brought. He observes every line. And then, with slow, deliberate movement, he nods. He raises his hand, and heaven waits. The angels, thousands upon thousands, stand still. Michael lowers his head. Every sound stops. Every wing halts mid-motion. Every spirit trembles. And with a voice that echoes across realms, Jesus releases a command concerning you. This command is why I am speaking to you. This command is why the urgency has fallen upon your spirit. This command is why heaven is stirring around your life. But before he speaks it aloud, he turns, and his eyes meet yours. Not eyes of judgment. Not eyes of disappointment. Eyes of a shepherd who refuses to lose even one of his sheep. Eyes of a king who knows your value. eyes of a lover of souls who has fought too much for you to let anything steal what is coming next. Then he speaks to the angels, to the courtroom, and yes, to you. This is why you must hear the secret. This is why you must understand the urgency. This is why heaven summoned you into this moment. For the next shift in your destiny depends on what you receive now. My child, this courtroom is not a fantasy. It is a spiritual reality that touches your life more than you realize. The battles you feel, the delays you face, the breakthroughs you sense but haven't yet seen, they all have roots in this very place. And now that you have been called into it, now that your name is before the throne, there is no turning back. You are stepping into what heaven has been preparing for you all along. Let your spirit breathe in this truth. Let the revelation settle gently over your heart. For what comes next will reveal the message Michael carried and the command Jesus spoke. Are you ready, beloved? My beloved child, stay close now, for we are stepping into the very heart of the urgency. The air around this moment feels charged, almost trembling, as though the heavens themselves lean in to listen. In this part, you must understand the weight of the emergency that Archangel Michael has declared, because it is not a small matter, not a passing whisper, not something to brush aside as if it will wait for another day. No, my child, heaven has announced an alert concerning you, and Michael has moved with the authority of a commander who refuses to let darkness gain even a single inch of ground in your life. I see Michael standing in the center of the heavenly court, tall, fierce, and unwavering. Every inch of him carries purpose. His armor glows with a brightness that seems to pulse like a heartbeat, alive with the fire of the throne. His sword, O beloved, his sword burns with a purity that no earthly flame can imitate. It is the sword that once clashed with the rebellious forces in the ancient war, the sword that still holds the memory of victory. And that sword tonight has been drawn on your behalf. But what made him draw it? What stirred heaven's general to lift his voice and declare an emergency? It began when the enemy moved against you. Not against your body alone, not against your peace alone, but against your destiny, your tomorrow, your rising. There are moments in a person's journey when the plans of darkness suddenly intensify, when whispers turn into shouts, when shadows stretch longer than usual. And when that moment comes, heaven does not wait. Heaven responds. Michael saw the shift. He saw where the enemy attempted to place traps in your path. He saw accusations rising in the spirit, whispered lies trying to attach themselves to your name. He saw attempts to delay your blessing, interfere with your breakthrough, drain your strength, and confuse your steps. And he would not tolerate it. He stepped forward, struck the ground with the blade of his sword, and declared before heaven that the interference must be judged, that the assault must be exposed, and that the child under his protection, you, must be alerted immediately. This is why he declared the emergency. This is why he filed the case. This is why the courts of heaven stirred and awakened with such intensity. This is why you are hearing this message tonight. The emergency is not meant to frighten you, beloved. No, it is meant to awaken you. Because what the enemy meant for harm, heaven intends to overturn. What was planned against you is about to be dismantled. But you must be aware. You must understand the seriousness, not in fear, but in readiness. Heaven never sounds an alarm without also releasing protection, instruction, and victory. Michael, the mighty warrior, has taken his stand. I can almost hear his declaration echoing through realms. Do not let this child fall into confusion. Do not let them walk into tomorrow unaware. Do not let darkness disguise itself. Inform them. Warn them. Reveal the truth before tomorrow arrives. My beloved child, when Michael speaks, it is not common speech. When he raises an alarm, heaven responds. And when he takes action, it means the situation required the strength of an archangel. And yet, I want you to see something beautiful. Even in his urgency, even in his warning, even in the weight of the matter, there is no panic in him. There is no fear in the courts of heaven. There is no worry in the voice of Jesus. The emergency is not for heaven. It is for you, that you may walk in clarity rather than confusion, strength rather than weakness, alignment rather than misdirection. Michael's emergency declaration is heaven's way of saying, we have seen what is foaming around you, and we will not allow you to walk into it without divine covering. This is why the urgency holds love. This is why the warning carries comfort. This is why the alert comes wrapped in assurance. It is not the voice of judgment. It is the voice of protection. Michael stands as both warrior and guardian. His wings, vast and blazing, spread over the courtroom with a protective glory. And it is under those wings that your name rests tonight. He knows what was planned against you. He knows what you could not see. He knows the enemy's intention. And he knows heaven's intention. His emergency declaration is the bridge between those two realities, the exposing of darkness and the revealing of God's plan for you. And even now, even as I speak, he remains alert. Not one movement of the enemy goes unnoticed. Not one whisper escapes his hearing. His sword remains drawn, not because he fears the outcome, but because he stands ready for the command of Jesus, the one who holds all authority. And soon, my child, we will step into what Jesus commanded. Soon, you will hear the secret you must know before tomorrow. Soon, the urgency will unfold into revelation. But first, let this truth settle deep into your spirit. You are not alone in the fight. Heaven has taken your case personally. And Michael has already moved on your behalf. My beloved child, draw near again. For now we are stepping into the moment where the weight of heaven's urgency becomes clear. You have seen the courtroom. You have felt the echo of Michael's declaration. But now you must hear the command of Jesus, for his words are the heart of this message, the center of this divine unfolding, the very reason heaven stirred with such unusual intensity on your behalf. What I am about to share with you is not born from imagination, but from a spiritual stirring, a prophetic vision of how deeply heaven is involved in your story. Picture the scene again, beloved. The courtroom has fallen into complete silence. Not a wing moves. Not a whisper rises. Not a single angel dares to shift their position. All eyes are fixed on the one standing at the center, the one whose presence interrupts chaos, whose voice heals storms, whose touch writes destinies. Jesus stands before the throne. His garments shine with a purity that no stain has ever touched. A gentle yet fierce radiance surrounds him, a light that seems to breathe and move with life. His feet rest on the glass-like floor, yet the ground beneath him feels as though it glows in response to his holiness. And his eyes, oh my child, his eyes, hold both eternity and tenderness. He is the lion, and he is the lamb. He is majesty, and he is mercy. Before him lies the scroll Michael presented. It carries the weight of what the enemy attempted, the accusations, the interferences, the threats formed in shadows. And yet, Jesus does not look at the scroll with intimidation or frustration. He looks at it with authority. Meaning, whatever darkness tried to write about you will not be the final story. He reads, he pauses, he considers, and then he lifts his face. It is at this moment that heaven leans in. Because when Jesus is about to declare something, all of creation listens as though it were hearing its Creator speak for the first time again. He takes one step forward. His voice, when it comes, is not loud, but it carries the weight of thunder hidden inside softness. It is a voice that seems to echo through every layer of existence. A voice that angels kneel before. A voice that melts the lies of the enemy like wax before flame. And he says, this child must be informed before tomorrow. The words strike the air with reverence. It is not merely instruction. It is divine mandate. It is not a suggestion. It is a decree. And when Jesus issues a decree, all realms adjust themselves to obey. He continues, what approaches them requires awareness, not fear. It requires light, not confusion. It requires preparation, not panic. Tell them the secret. They must know. My beloved child, pause and let those words sink into your heart. Jesus himself wants you informed. Jesus himself wants you prepared. Jesus himself wants you to understand something before the next dawn approaches. Not because something terrible awaits, but because something significant is shifting in the spirit concerning your life. There are times in a person's journey when destiny turns a corner, when cycles close and new ones begin, when what was delayed must now be released, when what was hidden must come to light, when what was fought against must now fall. And in such moments, heaven does not leave you unaware. Heaven calls you, summons you, prepares you. And that is what this command is about. It is not the voice of warning alone. It is the voice of preparation. It is the voice of love. It is the voice of a shepherd leading his sheep through a passage that must be crossed. Jesus sees tomorrow more clearly than you see today. He sees the path unfolding. He sees both the attacks that were planned and the blessings that were planted. And he wants you ready. But why before tomorrow? Why this urgency? Why this emphasis? Because in the spirit, a line is being drawn. And once that line is crossed, what has been forming will begin to manifest. Some things that were hidden will come to surface. Some opportunities will appear suddenly. Some decisions must be made with clarity. And Jesus refuses to let you walk into that without understanding. He refuses to let confusion guide you. He refuses to let fear whisper to you. He refuses to let darkness speak over you. He refuses to let the enemy interpret your season. Instead, He has chosen to speak first, chosen to reveal, chosen to guide, chosen to illuminate the path. This is why his command carries such urgency. This is why Michael moved swiftly. This is why heaven opened its courtroom. This is why your spirit has been stirred. You are being brought into knowledge that will align you with victory, protect you from deception, and prepare you for what heaven is releasing. The command of Jesus is not a burden. It is a gift. A divine gift wrapped in urgency because of its importance. And tonight, that gift is being opened before you. In the next part, you will hear the secret itself, the revelation that heaven insists you must know before tomorrow arrives. Take a breath, my beloved child. Let your heart rest in this truth. Jesus sees you. Jesus knows you. And Jesus has spoken on your behalf. My beloved child, prepare your heart now, for we are entering the part that heaven pressed upon you with such urgency. Everything you have heard until this moment, the courtroom, the scroll, the emergency, the command of Jesus, has been leading to this revelation. And now, with gentle reverence, I will bring you into the secret that Archangel Michael has declared you must know before tomorrow. Listen closely, for this is holy ground in your journey. The secret is not a single sentence or a hidden code. It is deeper. It is something the enemy has been trying to keep you blind to, because once you understand it, once it settles into your spirit, you will walk differently. You will think differently. You will rise differently. Your tomorrow will not catch you unprepared, and your future will not be shaped by fear. Here is the secret, my beloved child. Heaven has shifted your season, but the enemy has tried to keep you living in the old one. This is what Michael saw. This is what Jesus addressed. This is what the courtroom confirmed. You have crossed a spiritual boundary without realizing it. You have stepped out of one chapter and into another. But because the enemy cannot stop the shift, he tries to blind you to it, make you doubt it, confuse you about it, or trap you in patterns that belong to yesterday. If you stay unaware, you might walk into tomorrow carrying burdens, fears, expectations, and limitations that heaven has already removed from your life. And so heaven needed you to hear this in time. My child, the attacks you have felt recently were not because you were failing, but because you were transitioning. The heaviness you sensed was not a sign of weakness, but a sign that something new was trying to break forth. The confusion was not from God. It was a smokescreen from the enemy to make you misread what God is doing. The secret is this: your destiny has been upgraded, and heaven does not want you living like someone who is still under attack when you are already under elevation. This is why the case was filed. This is why the emergency was declared. This is why Jesus issued a command. This is why you were summoned before tomorrow. Because there is something heaven needs you to do. You must step into your new season consciously. You must let go of the weight of the old season, the mindset of the old battles, the fears of the old pain, and the echoes of old lies. You must rise knowing that heaven has moved you forward, and everything resisting that movement has been confronted in the courts of glory. There is another layer to the secret, beloved, and I feel led to reveal it gently. Michael saw that the enemy was trying to hold on to old allegations against you, old guilt, old mistakes, old regrets, shadows of things God has already forgiven, echoes of things heaven has already erased. And He would not allow those accusations to trail you into a season they do not belong to. So He brought them before Jesus. And Jesus did what only the Savior can do. He silenced them. He nullified them. He overruled them. He declared that those accusations have no authority in your new chapter. The secret is this: you are standing at the beginning of a divinely cleared path, and Jesus wanted you to know it before tomorrow, so you would not walk forward in chains that no longer exist. My beloved child, the enemy wanted you to believe your life was stuck. But heaven says you have already been moved. You are further than you think. You are stronger than you feel. You are closer than you realize. And you are covered more deeply than you know. This is the secret that empowers your tomorrow. You are not entering a dangerous season. You are entering an appointed one. You are not stepping into battle alone. You are stepping into alignment with heaven's timing. You are not waking up tomorrow into uncertainty. You are waking up into purpose. But you must receive this revelation, because what you believe will shape how you walk, how you speak, how you pray, how you expect, and how you respond to what unfolds in the coming hours. Michael has defended you. Jesus has commissioned you. Heaven has shifted you. And now you must rise into what has been opened. My child, before we move further, let me speak to your heart directly. You are entering a new phase of divine favor. Not fragile favor. Not temporary favor. But established, settled, heavenly recognized favor. And this favor is meant to guide your decisions, your confidence, your steps. Let this revelation settle. Let it take root. Let it breathe inside you. And as I close this part, hear my voice with love and reverence. If this message has stirred your spirit, if it has awakened something in you, if it has reminded you that heaven is near, then do what aligns with this divine moment. Lift this message higher. Share it as your witness. Let your voice amplify it in a world that needs reminders of heaven's nearness. Support this work as part of your journey and as part of your calling. For when you help spread light, you become a vessel of heaven's purpose. Now, my beloved child, if your heart is ready, I will continue into the next part, where I will reveal how the secret impacts your destiny. My beloved child, come closer now, for this is the moment where the revelation begins to breathe inside your destiny. You have heard the secret. You have felt the shift. You have witnessed the courtroom and the command of Jesus. But now you must understand what this means for your life, your future, your path, and the steps you will take from this day forward. For heaven does not reveal a secret without revealing its purpose, and you were not summoned into this message simply to be informed, but to be transformed. Let your spirit be still so the truth can settle deeply. When a season shifts in heaven, everything connected to you begins to adjust. Angels reposition themselves. Opportunities begin to align. Old battles lose their hold. New assignments begin to unfold. And many times, my child, you are the last one to realize that the change has already taken place. That is why Jesus insisted you hear this before tomorrow. Because tomorrow marks not just a new day on a calendar, but the beginning of a new era in your spirit. Understand this clearly. Your destiny has expanded. The boundaries of your calling have stretched. The territory of your influence has increased. The weight of your anointing has deepened. The enemies that once intimidated you no longer hold authority over you. But destiny expands quietly before it expands visibly. And until you understand what is happening spiritually, you may misinterpret the signs around you. Let me take you deeper, beloved. The pressure you felt recently was not the crushing of defeat, but the stretching of birth. Your spirit was being prepared for something greater than what you were expecting. The shaking in your emotions was not a sign of weakness. It was God loosening the old structures that could not enter the new season with you. The moments you felt alone were not abandonment. They were heaven clearing the room so that your next chapter would not be contaminated by old influences. This is how destiny works. Nothing in your life has been random. Not the struggles. Not the delays. Not the tears. Not the sudden heaviness. All of it was part of the transition into a higher calling. And now that you have crossed that invisible line, heaven wants you to walk with the awareness of someone who is stepping into purpose, not wandering in confusion. Your destiny is changing in 3 powerful ways, and I will speak them gently into your heart. First, your authority is increasing. The enemy attacked you because he sensed the upgrade coming before you did. He tried to distract you, confuse you, weaken you, and bury you under old emotions so you would not realize you were stepping into greater spiritual strength. But now the secret is revealed. You are stronger than the attacks you overcame. Heaven has seen your endurance, your tears, your resilience, your hidden battles, and has marked you with increased authority. Second, your spiritual sensitivity is awakening. This is why you felt the urgency in your spirit before even hearing the message. This is why something inside you stirred when you heard Michael's emergency declaration. Heaven is sharpening your discernment. You will begin to sense things before they unfold, hear clarity where you once heard confusion, and recognize truth in moments that used to overwhelm you. And third, your path is being realigned. There are doors you were once drawn to that will not pull on you the same way. There are people who were part of your last chapter who will not fit into the new one. There are dreams that felt too big before that will now feel possible. There are assignments that once felt heavy that will now feel natural. This is because heaven has repositioned you. Your destiny is no longer being shaped by the limitations of your past. It is being shaped by the divine clarity of your future. My beloved child, your story is about to make sense in ways it never has before. The battles you fought will begin to reveal their purpose. The waiting will begin to reveal its fruit. The silence of God will begin to reveal its wisdom. Nothing was wasted. Nothing was pointless. Everything was preparation. Now, hear this from the depths of my spirit. Heaven is not asking you to fight harder. Heaven is asking you to walk wiser. The emergency was never about your destruction. It was about your transition. You are not stepping into a battlefield unprotected. You are stepping into an assignment fully supported. Jesus has gone before you. Michael stands beside you. The angels surround you. and the Spirit of God moves within you. Your destiny is no longer under review. It has been released. Let this truth strengthen your heartbeat. Let it dissolve old fears. Let it lift your chin and straighten your back. You are not entering your future stumbling. You are entering it chosen. And now, my beloved child, if your heart is steady, if your spirit feels ready, I will take you further into the unseen realm. In the next part, you will witness the battle that has taken place in the spirit and how heaven has been fighting for you long before you knew the danger existed. My beloved child, take a gentle breath and come with me now, for we are stepping into the realm where few have the courage to look, yet every believer is affected by it. This is the place where the unseen becomes real, where the invisible war becomes clear, where the whispers of heaven and the strategies of darkness clash in ways the physical eye cannot perceive. If your heart felt tension in the natural world, it is because battles were taking place in the spirit long before your mind understood what was happening. And now, heaven wants you to see the truth of it. There is a fight around your life, beloved, not because you are weak, but because you are valuable. Darkness does not pursue what carries no purpose. The enemy does not wage war against what he is not threatened by. The reason the pressure felt so strange, the confusion felt so sudden, the heaviness felt so unexplainable, is because something was rising inside you, something the enemy hoped to suffocate before it broke through. But heaven did not stand by and watch. Heaven moved. Let me take you into the scene. Above the earthly realm, in a dimension that moves faster than thought and brighter than lightning, a storm had been gathering. Not a storm of rain or thunder, but a storm of spiritual activity. Angels position themselves across the landscape of your destiny. Their wings created currents of wind that your soul could feel, but your natural eyes could not see. Their formation was not random. They stood in strategic placements, like soldiers surrounding a sacred perimeter. And at the center of this heavenly formation stood Archangel Michael. His presence towered like a pillar of fire. His eyes scanned the horizon of the spiritual battlefield. Every movement of his wings caused ripples of divine authority that spread across realms. He was not pacing. He was not panicking. He was standing in full command, fully aware of every scheme the enemy had crafted, fully ready to dismantle every tactic that threatened your forward motion. Michael raised his sword. The moment he lifted it, the atmosphere around you shifted. You felt it without knowing what it was. That tightening in your chest, that wave of pressure, that sudden intensity in your emotions. It was the collision between light and darkness happening on your behalf. For as Michael raised his weapon, shadows moved in response. The enemy's forces rose like a swarm, stretching out tendrils of deception, discouragement, confusion, fear, and delay, all aimed at your life, your steps, your purpose. But what the enemy did not realize was this: you were not unprotected. You were not unnoticed. You were not vulnerable. You were surrounded. Angels, the ones assigned to you, moved like flashes of brilliance. Their swords cut through lies before those lies could reach your mind. Their shields deflected discouragement that tried to weigh down your heart. Their wings blocked shadows that tried to attach themselves to your thoughts. Every fiery dart of the enemy was met with a shield of divine intervention. Michael, seeing the enemy approach with greater boldness, struck the ground with the tip of his sword. And my child, when that sword hit the spiritual ground, waves of holy fire erupted outward like rings of light dissolving darkness. Demonic forces stumbled backward, their shadows shredded by glory. Their accusations turned to silence. Their movements became chaotic, weakened by the authority of God's warrior. But the battle did not end there. The enemy regrouped. He always tries again. He looked for your weak moments, your tired moments, your stressed moments. He looked for the cracks where discouragement might slip in. He waited for moments when you questioned yourself, when you doubted your worth, when you worried about your future. In those moments, he attempted to charge. But heaven was faster than the enemy. Every time a shadow moved, an angel intercepted it. Every time a whisper approached, it was silenced. Every time an attack formed, Michael raised his wings and released waves of divine force that washed over the battlefield. And then something extraordinary happened. Jesus stepped into the battle. He did not appear as a distant figure. He did not hover above the war. He stepped into the very center of it, walking with the calm authority of the one who holds victory without effort. His presence was not chaotic. It was steady. It was peaceful. It was final. Wherever his foot touched the spiritual ground, darkness recoiled. Wherever his gaze shifted, demonic plans disintegrated. Wherever he extended his hand, chains that were meant to wrap around you broke into dust. He did not lift a sword. He did not need to. His presence alone was victory. Michael bowed his head briefly as if acknowledging the superior general, then lifted his sword again, but this time not in defense, in declaration. The moment Jesus entered the battlefield, the war shifted from protection to triumph, from defense to advancement, from holding ground to reclaiming it. This is why your destiny is changing. This is why yesterday felt heavy but today feels awakened. This is why the emergency was declared. This is why heaven insisted you hear the secret. This is why Jesus called you by name. The battle was already won before you knew the fight existed. My beloved child, you have not survived because you are strong. You have survived because heaven fought for you. You have not endured because you figured things out. You endured because warriors stood between you and destruction. You have not made it this far alone. Every step has been shielded. Every breath has been protected. Every moment has been covered. You were never meant to see all of this. Yet heaven chose to show you so you would understand the magnitude of what is unfolding. Your tomorrow is not threatened. Your future is not fragile. Your purpose is not at risk. For heaven has fought, and heaven has prevailed. Now, beloved, if your heart is ready, I will take you into the next part where the covering of Jesus and the shield of Michael settle over your life with divine permanence. My beloved child, come closer once more, for now we enter one of the most tender and powerful revelations of this entire journey. You have seen the courtroom. You have heard the command. You have witnessed the battle. But now I must show you the covering, the divine protection that rests upon you with a weight deeper than words can express. This part is not merely a description, it is an impartation. As you listen, something inside you will settle, strengthen, and awaken. Let us step gently into this holy truth. You are covered by Jesus and shielded by Michael. My child, there is a kind of protection that does not merely surround a person, it transforms them. There is a covering that does not just keep danger away, it rewrites the atmosphere around your entire life. Jesus does not protect you from a distance. He covers you from the inside outward, from the spirit through the soul and into the natural world. His presence is not layered on top of your life. It is woven into the fabric of your destiny. Imagine this with the eyes of your spirit. Jesus stands beside you, not as a faraway Savior, but as a close and present Lord. His robe, flowing with light, extends over you like a canopy. It is not thin, not weak, not symbolic, but powerful, thick with grace, heavy with mercy, saturated with victory. When His covering rests upon you, no shadow can cling to your spirit. No lie can penetrate your heart. No fear can anchor itself inside your mind. His covering is alive. His covering is intentional. His covering is personal. And with that covering comes the shield. Beside Jesus, standing firmly like a pillar of heavenly flame, is Archangel Michael. He does not stand behind you. He does not hover above. He stands at your flank like a warrior who has taken personal responsibility for your journey. His shield is not round or small. It is vast, stretching tall and wide, forged not from metal but from divine authority. It glows with a radiance that repels darkness before it can even form into shape. When Michael lifts his shield, the atmosphere around you becomes fortified. The air itself becomes guarded. Shadows lose their strength before they even reach your proximity. It is as though heaven has drawn a circle around you, a boundary that darkness cannot cross. Jesus covers you. Michael shields you. And between the two of them, you walk in a protection crafted by both love and power. Understand this clearly, beloved. The covering of Jesus is not fragile. It is not something that fades when you feel tired or broken. It does not lift when you feel unworthy. It does not withdraw when you struggle. His covering is anchored in His love, and His love does not shift with your emotions. You may feel weak, but His covering remains strong. You may feel confused, but His presence remains steady. You may feel overwhelmed, but His shelter remains firm. And Michael's shield is not conditional. It is not dependent on your mood, or your boldness, or your perfection. He protects you because heaven assigned Him to you. He guards you because your destiny carries weight. He stands beside you because the plan over your life is sacred. Let me take you deeper into the spiritual truth of their roles. Jesus does not simply guard you from danger. He guards your purpose. He covers your calling. He covers your identity. He covers your tomorrow. His covering is not just for protection. It is for preparation. Under His covering, old wounds heal. Clarity returns, burdens lift, and courage rises. Under His covering, you are shaped into who you were designed to be. Michael, on the other hand, does not shape you. He defends what Jesus shapes. He fights off what tries to interfere. He silences what tries to derail you. He blocks what attempts to steal your strength. Where Jesus builds, Michael protects. Where Jesus speaks, Michael enforces. Where Jesus leads, Michael clears the path. And the most extraordinary part is this: they work together. Jesus covers you from within. Michael shields you from without. This is why the enemy cannot reach you. This is why the attacks fail sooner than you realize. This is why the battles end before you fully understand they began. This is why the emergency became a declaration of victory rather than defeat. You are covered at every level of your life. Above you rests the canopy of Jesus. Around you stands the shield of Michael. Within you breathes the Spirit of the living God. My beloved child, do you feel the safety in that? Do you sense the sacredness of it? Do you hear the reassurance of heaven in this truth? If you only knew the number of battles you never saw, if you only knew how many arrows were intercepted midair, if you only knew how many plans were shattered before reaching you, if you only knew the weight of this shield Michael holds, if you only knew the strength of the covering Jesus has wrapped around your life, you would never doubt your protection again. And now, let me speak something into your heart. You do not walk into tomorrow unguarded. You walk into tomorrow backed by heaven's finest. You walk into tomorrow not as someone fragile, but as someone fortified. You walk into tomorrow not with uncertainty, but with covering. You are not stepping forward alone. You are stepping forward surrounded. My beloved, if you are ready, I will guide you now into the next part. What you must do before tomorrow, according to what heaven has shown. My beloved child, let your heart be steady now, for we have reached the moment where revelation turns into instruction. Everything heaven has shown you, the courtroom, the emergency, the command of Jesus, the secret, the battle, the covering, the shield, has brought us here. This is the turning point. This is the part where heaven whispers not only what has happened, but what you must do before tomorrow arrives. Not out of fear, not out of pressure, but out of alignment, out of readiness, out of trust. Come closer, beloved. Let these words settle into you like gentle rain. What you are about to hear is not complicated. Heaven does not burden its children with heavy tasks. Heaven guides with clarity and simplicity. Jesus is not asking you to perform. He is asking you to posture your heart. Before tomorrow dawns, there are 3 movements of the Spirit that heaven desires you to make, not actions of the body, but alignments of the soul. The first is this: you must acknowledge the shift. Your season has changed. Heaven has advanced you. Your path has been cleared. But if you do not internalize this truth, you may continue walking with the mindset of yesterday. And yesterday's mindset cannot carry you into tomorrow's victory. Spend a quiet moment before you rest tonight and simply whisper from your spirit, I receive the shift you have made in my life. That single acknowledgement opens doors in the unseen. The second is this: you must release what cannot follow you. There are burdens you carried emotionally that no longer belong to you. Thoughts that drain you, memories that weaken you, fears that restrain you, guilt that shadows you. Heaven asks you to let them go. Release them not by force, but by surrender. You are not meant to drag the weight of an old season into a new chapter. Simply breathe out and say, I release what heaven has removed. That one act of surrender frees your spirit in ways you cannot yet imagine. And the third is this: you must welcome what heaven is sending. There are new opportunities approaching, new clarity forming, new strength rising. Heaven wants you in a posture of reception, not resistance. May blessings arrive quietly, and only those who are open recognize them. Before tomorrow comes, whisper with a receptive heart, I welcome what heaven has prepared for me. This opens the spiritual gates before you. My child, do not underestimate the power of simple obedience. Jesus did not command you to do much. He commanded you to know. He commanded you to receive. Heaven is not requiring a dramatic ritual. Heaven is inviting alignment. But let me take you deeper into why this matters. What unfolds tomorrow is not an event, but a shift, a tone, a direction, a spiritual breeze that carries you forward into what you were always meant to hold. If you enter tomorrow unaware, you may miss the signs of God's hand. But if you enter tomorrow aligned, you will sense His presence with clarity. For tomorrow, give your spirit permission to rise. Before tomorrow, give your heart permission to hope again. Before tomorrow, give your mind permission to release fear. Before tomorrow, give your soul permission to step forward. Heaven is not asking you to be perfect, only willing. And now, my beloved child, let me speak something into your heart with gentle authority. What you do before tomorrow sets the tone for the days ahead. If you align now, the coming season will unfold with grace. If you center your spirit now, the path will clear. If you open yourself now, you will recognize the hand of God moving where you once saw only confusion. You are not preparing for a threat. You are preparing for destiny. This is why Michael declared the emergency. This is why Jesus issued the command. This is why the secret was revealed. This is why heaven fought for you. This is why the covering and the shield were shown. Because heaven does not let a child step into purpose blindly. And beloved, before this section closes, allow me to speak to the deeper responsibility inside you. When you share light, you multiply it. When you lift a message that carries heaven's weight, you become part of its movement. When you support a prophetic word that strengthens you, you become a vessel God uses to strengthen others. Let your heart be moved to action. Lift this message. Spread it where hearts hunger. Not as a favor to a voice, but as obedience to a whisper from heaven itself. Every act of sharing becomes a seed of light in someone else's night. Now, my child, if you are ready, we will enter a final prophecy and the completion of this divine journey. My beloved child, come close for the final time in this holy journey. Let your spirit grow still, for this is the moment where heaven seals everything you have heard, everything you have felt, everything that has awakened inside you. This is the moment where the weight of the message becomes a mantle upon your shoulders. Not heavy, but holy. Something you carry with clarity, with purpose, with reverence. You have walked through the courts of heaven. You have heard the emergency from Michael. You have received the command of Jesus. You have learned the secret that was hidden from you until now. You have witnessed the battle in the unseen realm. You have stood under the covering of Jesus and the shield of Michael. You have embraced what you must do before tomorrow. Now, my child, heaven desires to close this message with blessing. Listen carefully, for this is not merely a conclusion. It is a prophetic release. I see Jesus standing before you now, not in the courtroom, not on the battlefield, but close, so close you can almost feel the warmth of his presence. His eyes rest upon you with a tenderness that melts every fear, every doubt, every question. And in that gaze, I hear him whisper something gentle yet powerful. You are not alone in what comes next. He does not send you into your tomorrow as a soldier without honor. He sends you as a child whose name heaven knows, whose steps heaven guards, whose future heaven has already prepared. I see his hands extending, not to push you, but to bless you, to strengthen you, to empower you. My beloved child, receive this. May your spirit awaken like morning light. May your heart rise with courage that wells from the throne of grace. May your steps be carried by peace that suppresses all fear. May your mind be wrapped in clarity that silences confusion. May your path open before you like a door heaven itself has unlocked. May every delay fall. May every chain break. May every shadow flee. May every blessing heaven intended for you begin to manifest in its appointed time. You are stepping into a new season. Not tomorrow. Not eventually. Now. This message did not come to entertain you. It came to position you. Heaven aligned you, prepared you, covered you, strengthened you, and now releases you. Walk forward knowing this truth. You are protected. You are chosen. You are guided. You are surrounded. You are not stepping into uncertainty. You are stepping into destiny. And before this final word closes, hear my heart with the love of a father to his children. When the message carries the breath of heaven, when it lifts your spirit and reminds you of the unseen covering around you, you are called to lift it, share it, and let it echo into the lives of others. Not out of obligation, but out of gratitude for what it awakened inside you. Spread the light. Strengthen the weak. Let others hear what heaven has whispered to you tonight. It is not merely support. It is ministry. It is obedience. It is divine duty. Now, beloved child, lift your eyes. Walk with confidence. Tomorrow will not surprise you. Tomorrow will welcome you. This is the word. This is the sealing. This is the blessing. Amen.